Hello everyone, I'm Christina and welcome to this A-Level Mathematics Calculus Series video. This is video 20, Stationary Turning Points, Part 4. Our objective here is to determine the nature of stationary points using the second derivative. So in a previous video, we looked at determining the nature of stationary points using the first derivative, and we did that by looking at points on either side just before and just after the stationary point, and seeing if the slope of the graph would change signs. So now we're going to calculate our second derivative to determine the nature. So we're going to differentiate f of x twice. So the steps are as follows. We first find the first derivative. So we first do f dash of x for our curve f of x. Our second step is to then solve our first derivative equals 0. That way we find the x coordinates of the stationary points, and then we can find the corresponding y coordinates through substituting our x coordinates back into our function f of x. So this has been illustrated in a previous video. We then can find the second derivative. So we do that by differentiating our f of x function twice. And then we can evaluate our second derivative at our stationary points. So we can substitute in our x values, our x coordinates of our stationary points into our second derivative. And then we can determine the nature of the stationary points by checking the values we get. So if the value of our second derivative for our stationary point, x, our x coordinate of our stationary point, is greater than 0, that is a local minimum. If the second derivative value is less than 0, that is a local maximum. And if our second derivative value is equal to 0, well, then that gives us no information. So we must check values on either side of our stationary points using our first derivative method. So in the next video, I'm going to put all of this into practice and work through a few examples.